Hi, Graham.
Hi, Alexei. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Hope you too. You have a 53 years experience stay on the scene, and I think that you have many stories about rising and falling, and also you looked at many life stories by other artists. Could you make top 5 how to fall down, for example, easily?
Yep, I got that. So number 1, I guess, is to carry on just because you want to DJ. If the love has fallen out of it, number 1. Number 2, don't do drugs and drink alcohol when you go play. You'll think you're amazing, but you're actually not. 3, although it's sad to say, I guess, if you stop using social media, then you're kind of going to disappear a little bit. We all know now, it's very different now to 50, 40, 30, 20 years ago even, that if you don't produce, you're not going to get anywhere. So if you are producing, then you need to absolutely keep producing. And 5, I guess, never forget that this job we do, sadly, is a 7 days a week job. And there's a huge cost involved. And that cost primarily comes into our private lives. But then there are DJs which it doesn't seem to affect, you know, like even here on Kopangan, excuse me, you have, you know, the DJs like Vocabula and stuff who has a family, still managing somehow to produce 2-3 tracks a week, almost every week, not every week, but, and still have a family life.
How to join the DJ life with like a normal life?
It's not a normal life. I just turned like 69 on my last birthday. And I posted in Facebook because I lied on Facebook because, you know, it is an age thing. I lied that, you know, hey, it's probably come up. It's my it's my birthday. It's probably flashed up that I'm 59, but in reality, I'm 69. And fun enough, like 2 days, 3 days before, I just played Jungle Experience, which is a big festival here on Kopangan, like 4,000 people. And people videoed it, and I looked at the videos, and you know, no one would say, wow, as a 69-year-old guy there. It's because I'm not normal. You know, it's not a 9-to-5 job, is it, Alexei? It's not a 9-to-5. We don't live Monday, Friday, go work 9-5, switch off. You know, we kind of, I remember I had a girlfriend once who said, you're not a DJ, you're Graham, but if you were to, you know, talk to like people who have office jobs, they'd say, well, they say about them it wouldn't be job orientated, but it, you know, it does seem in this industry, the first thing you say is, I'm a DJ, because we have to live, breathe, sleep it 24/7. I'm choosing now to really chill out. I want to enjoy this island that I live on much more. You know, back in the day, and I don't think it's big-headed to say it, we did, when we went to work, you know, we were playing, God, in the summer season, I was on a plane Sunday to Thursday doing all the holiday destinations, whether it be Ibiza or Lanzarote or Tenerife. And then if I was in the UK at the weekend, 3 gigs every Friday, 3 every Saturday. So I was playing to I don't know, 20,000 people a week plus. So I kind of did feel that my sets were changing their life because that's what people said. Now I don't, now I'm not as relevant, and I'm not playing to that many people, and I'm cutting down on gigs. So, but yeah, we're not normal.
It's about normal. What is it normal? Yes,
what is? Well, I kind of think normal. Well, variations of normal, isn't there? I live on Koh Phangan, this kind of split 50-50 party well-being island. So for the yoga well-being spiritual people, their life is normal. I would class normality as, depending on what age you are, but if you're like 35, 40, married, couple of kids, go to work 9 o'clock Monday morning, leave at 5, come home, I kind of think that's normal. But yeah, I mean, you're right, it's a good question. What is normal these days?
How you feeling the younger age generation for now?
Obviously, when I speak to younger people, which is obviously all the time because every person on this island is younger than me, especially with the DJs. Well, firstly, it makes me aware actually of I'm old, but I never use that word. I never actually. That's the first time I think I've said it in years. OLDER or just OLD, because if you say that, you become what you feel. But I know that I have the respect from the younger ones here, even though the DJs on Koh Phangan probably actually aren't aware of all that I've achieved in my life. I guess just, again, not in a big-headed way I'm saying this, but I guess, the word is on the island that I am a legend. And I don't mean that. I mean, that's not me saying it. It's what other people say.
Yeah. Okay, you say before that sometimes you have three times playing per night, right? On the weekend. How you recovering after? Because it's not easy. Yeah, it's not easy to play because you share everything, share your emotion, share your music. Yeah, you should be concentrate when you play. How you recovering?
Don't forget, I am talking about my life. When it was like that, my life was between 1993 and 2004. Excuse me. So, well, the recovery. I mean, and if I'm totally honest, in those years I was a naughty boy with drugs and alcohol. So, and that's why I really advocate now, never go play on drugs or alcohol. So the recovery, it was hard, especially sometimes that, there were times. So I ran a club night in London called Peach, and it was arguably the best venue in the whole of the UK. It was in northwest London, just like a mile west end, a place called Camden. It used to be called Camden Palace, now it's called Koko. And that was my night, and because I would have had 2 other gigs that night, I would always play last set last set 4 till 6 a.m. And there were many occasions when I'd have to be at the airport at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning for a flight to LA or down to Johannesburg, for example. And yeah, I mean, it's hard. So, my son has a massive schedule at the moment with like constantly international travel, as opposed to going up and down the motorways in the UK on a Friday and Saturday. And, you know, like, for example, last week he played, I think it was Taipei on Friday and Hong Kong Saturday. Then he got back, he lives in Amsterdam now, and then got back on, I think, Monday, and then Wednesday he had to leave again for Toronto, something like that. And he says that I'm exhausted, but he hasn't drunk alcohol for over a year. He actually does what I do, and I gym every day, I swim every day. He doesn't swim, but he gyms. He eats super healthily. One of the things in his rider is that the gym, that the hotel has a gym, and I think that's kind of super important because so it just helps you, you know, with the mental side, because, you know, we've had DJs, you know, like Avicii, and where it just became too much. So, you know, healthy lifestyle will help you deal with the stress of this job and with the punishing schedules that, say, not me anymore, but with, you know, the big DJs have. But how many of them actually are drug-free and alcohol-free and do it? I got no idea. I just know my son does it, Ben Gold, and he's world-famous trance DJ. And it works for him.
Yeah, that's why I ask this question by you, because you have a good shapes, you know, in 69. Yeah, yeah. You know that my wife was surprised about your age because.
That's like a dagger. Makes me feel good. Not. But it's true. You know, people don't believe my age. They were some of the people on the island were shocked when I said it. And which is nice. It's a compliment, of course. It doesn't really help me finding the woman that I want to end up with. 69 and single. It's a great number for sex, but it's not a great number for being single. I just think it's down to taking care of yourself and of course your own self-respect.
Okay, I will post your contact or your Facebook contact, okay, for Russian girls.
Alexei, I've had 2 Russian girlfriends. One of, and you know, I have found man has to pay for everything with Russian women, with most of them, and I can't afford to do that anymore. I'm still interested, so find me a hot non-party girl, 50-year-old that's okay with a 69-year-old, or 55-year-old that's okay with a 69-year-old that, you know, wants to have fun, wants to go to maybe a party once a week. and you can add that everything still works, by the way.
Okay, you have a good body, yeah? And how are you feeling inside? You have a 69, for example. It's how are you feeling inside? Yeah, you feel this age or about this age, or what are you feeling inside?
I'm not happy about the age, you know, obviously, because, you know, it means I am getting older. Mentally and in my heart, I still feel like a 40-year-old. So I, like, you know, to clear my head, I meditated for 2 hours yesterday. And, you know, and I think meditation is a really super good thing, along with, you know, the physical workout with the gym and the swim, which does help the brain. But meditation, it kind of helps you deal with the overthinking, the overanalyzing, and I think it's very, very important. Plus, also, I was losing my confidence a little bit because it's difficult. Back in the day, from 88, 87, when I started playing house music, even though, my transition into trance was around 96, 97, you went to work, even when it was house, things weren't genreified. You just played house music. So you went to work with either 2 record boxes with 75 records in each one, or if you were playing internationally, 1 record box, 75 tunes, a record bag, 50 tunes. So you had 125 tracks and you were in your comfort zone completely. But the same with trance. Trance was trance. Now, in 2023, I use Rekordbox as my libraries, and I take my laptop with me so I can look at the full browser in Rekordbox on the laptop, and everything on the flash drive obviously is replicated from that. But on a CDJ or XZ or XR, or the XR3 and the new Pioneer 3000s and the Denon 3000s, they have a much bigger window, but I still feel like I like to look through. But within my record box, there's like in the subgenres. So I kind of realized why I was losing my confidence. That I was just everything. So I had the genres like acid, deep tech, deep tech, melodic house, progressive techno, minimal, techno. And now, of course, indie dance and electro, they all come under the melodic house progressive banner. You can, if you're not if you're a digweed playing like a bedrock set, but that said, a track came out on Bedrock last week, which is clearly indie dance, and you can't go from deep tech to deep tech to minimal to you have to make the set a journey, and then I thought, I was talking about it to somebody, and I realised that this is where I was losing my confidence. If I was opening my melodic house progressive techno folder, there's like 500 tracks in there, and then I realised that I made my worldwide name by having music before anybody else. And back in the day, it would often just be me and Pete Tong that had acetates of tracks that weren't going to come out for 2 months. And I'm still on most record companies' mailing lists. So I do my promos a lot, because then I know I'm playing music that other people on the island won't have yet. So I created a new genre in my record box called Record Box and Bag, as if I was going out to play 30 years ago, with the idea of getting it down to 150 tracks, just the latest and the best of the best. But there's, when you're listening to new music, you'll hear something that's kind of so off the wall, but you'll go, yeah, I want to play that. There's going to be a place where I play it. And you put that in the record box and record bag. And so I've still ended up with like 380 tracks, and it's too many. It's really, really difficult right now in my opinion, to be a DJ. And, unless you're a Coxie or a Solomon or, Hernan Catania or a Digweed or Oliver Koletsky or whoever, Denox and Beckers, or Boris Brejcha, they're known for one sound. But me, house music's a huge umbrella, and I love a lot of what's in it. So
about nowadays, people comment and they need the new tracks. As we spoke with Pasha Vocabulary, he say, I don't like to play music that everybody plays. For example, it's like a super top working tracks, but someone have some top list tracks and play. What you think? People coming for listen the new, or what they need for now?
Okay, there's kind of 2 arguments to that. Just because it's new, it doesn't make it better than something a year ago. at the end of the day, what we all need to be playing is only great music. I totally agree with what Vocabula said about playing the music that everybody else plays. That's why, as I said just now, you know, I really concentrate on my promos, because I know I've got stuff that nobody else has got. And of course, you know, now everything's digital. That is the problem with, you know, people got Spotify. I actually don't use Spotify, but, you know, you got Traxsource and Beatport. Everyone's buying the same thing. But something that I've always said and still believe in is that you could give 4 DJs the same 20 tracks, and the order that they choose to put them in will more than likely be different. You know, they won't all go. So the journey of that they create out of those tracks going to be different, and you know, tracks can sound different depending on what comes before them as well. But yeah, I mean, it would be a sad. I mean, it's quite funny. So, like last Sunday, I did bamboo huts here on Kopangan, and it was 3 till 6 in the afternoon. So a lot of the crowd had come from Eden, and but it can vary what time it finishes, but they want this energy, like certainly in the beginning. So 3 to 5, I was doing what I normally do, and then I kind of felt the vibe that I really wanted to create wasn't there. So I totally flipped it on its head, and then I kind of beat myself up a little bit for not doing this before. And I've always been a risk taker. If you think that, you know, playing new music is a risk. I've heard it a million times in my life that, yeah, I want to educate people. I'm only going to play new music. But, you know, people don't go to parties to be educated. They go out to forget their normal world. Some take drugs, some don't. But they want you to give them this happiness, not be frigging educated. So I really hate that saying. So what I did at Bamboo, I just felt I needed to flip it. And so luckily on my flash drive, I have a 128 gig flash drive. I have my current house and my chill out, and I do quite a few chill out sets. And I've got like jazzy house, which I play in as chill out. I've never played it in a club environment, but I felt, you know, it was the last hour, 5 till 6, so coming towards sunset. And I just changed it. I mean, I didn't dramatically change. I mean, I made it a nice transition from melodic house into a melodic tribal, then into the jazzy house, and the flow worked. And once as soon as the tribal came on, the dance floor got packed again. And when I was playing the jazzy with beautiful, they were going mad. So I kind of kicked myself for not taking enough risks these days to flip things over and just gauge it, you know, and just see what happens. But, you know, if you've got, you know, there was a club I did on Samui back in July. I'm doing it again next month, called Elephant Club. And all they actually wanted, and they were going crazy, was melodic house and progressive techno. So there was no need to flip it, because they were so into what I was playing, and that is also the sound of that particular venue as well. I mean, everyone they book plays melodic house, progressive house. So there was no need to flip it, but the point is, sometimes we need to just go.
I really recommend your latest mix. It was from Bamboo, what I listened before. It was really nice, but super. 2 hours, you keep the vibe, you know.
Was that the one from last Sunday? From
Bamboo. Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's two up on my Mixcloud and SoundCloud from Bamboo. One I did in June, and then there's one in July. The July one was the one with the jazzy house, and yeah, I started deep tech. I call it deep tech. I started just to create the vibe, and then slowly came up. But the June one as well was also good. I got a shitload of compliments for that set.
Wow, but it was like a one story. It's perfect. It's really
Thank
one
you,
story.
Thank you.
Okay, another one. This by Julia, by my wife. Who would you be if you weren't a DJ?
I have no idea whatsoever. I don't know. A van driver, because I couldn't sit in an office all day. I mean, it's bad enough with this job that we do. Like, I've got my studio upstairs and I'm in there for, I'm trying to cut the hours down, 6 hours a day. But I couldn't go and work for somebody to do a 9 to 5. So, I don't know, van driver, or if on Kopangan, maybe a gardener. Quite a nice job.
Oh.
Or a swimming pool cleaner.
Okay, and another one by Julia. How to keep to be a good human when you have a big scene, artist?
If you're a nice person, you're a nice person. If you're a bad person, you're a bad person. And being nice actually costs zero. In fact, you've just reminded me, I still haven't gone to my artist page on my Facebook and done like to the 2,000 people who wished me happy birthday. I had like 2,000 on my personal page, and I haven't frigging done the other one yet, but I do need to do it, because if somebody can take the trouble to wish me happy birthday, I can take the trouble to at least like. But of course, it's social media and it's massively time consuming. But yeah, I mean, say being nice costs nothing, and I know I'm a good person. I know I'm a nice person, and I'm told it all the time. Sometimes maybe too nice. I wear my heart on my sleeve. I'm an open book. But yeah, I don't have time for arrogant people, whether they're DJs or not, and for sure there's a lot of arrogant DJs out there. But at the end, who think they're Dilla, and they may be Dilla, but at the end of the day, it's the clubbers that come and pay their entrance at the door that pays your wages. The promoter doesn't pay your wages. The clubbers pay your wages. And you must always have time for them, because they're your fan base. Lose them and go and be a gardener or a swimming pool cleaner.
Okay, and the last one. How about young producer who want to be at your playlist? How they can go there?
Well, most people who produce get their track signed to a record label, so it's gonna get released, so it's gonna end up on Traxsource or Beatport, and I have all my genres highlighted, so anything in that genre that's new, I'm gonna get to see, or I'm on the mailing list. But it is impossible to listen to everything. This is why I love Shazam, and I'm not scared to say I Shazam other DJs when I'm out. I do it if I hear a track that's absolutely stand out and I don't have it, because if we want to go to work knowing that we've listened to everything that came out that day or that week and went through all our email promos, I get like 80 a day. I don't have time. Nobody has time to listen to all 80 tracks a day of my promos, and then 200 tracks released every day. This is why a lot of the big DJs have their record their tune listeners, people who go through and do it for them because they physically don't have time. And if any of us were to do it, we'd need 48 hours in every day just to know that we've listened to every single new track that's come out that day. It's an impossibility. That's why I do like websites like 1001 track lists, because then I can go to my favorite DJs or producers and see what they're playing. You know, it's why these things exist. But, you know, if anybody listening to this wants to send me a track that, you know, that's not signed, just please make sure it's good and it's mastered, and just send it to graham@grahamgold.com. And, you know, if it's a personal like email, then I'll see it and I will reply.
You want to say something for your listeners? Do you want to wish something?
Well, yeah, I get firstly, you know, for all those that have supported me over the years, obviously, thank you very much. If you're Russian, spasibo большое. If you're Spanish, muchas gracias. You know, without your support, we'd all be nothing anyway. And I hope you keep supporting for as long as I continue to do this, which may be just for another 12 months, and then, you know, then maybe I'll stop. But, you know, when I announced that on my Facebook a month prior to my birthday, that I had a big announcement coming up on my birthday, that big announcement was actually where I was honest about my age. But I did put in that this may be my last year of playing, and there were, like, you know, quite a few thousand people went, "You can't give up, you can't stop." And, you know, what would I do if I totally stopped? You know, working is so important to our mental health as well, because we have to wake up, you know, with a focus, with you know, a strategy of something to do every day. And the idea of waking up and going, okay, gonna go to the gym, have a swim, do my meditation, and then what? God, you know, I've since I was 12 years old doing milk rounds and paper rounds, so I'm a bit of a workaholic anyway. But yeah, so just, you know, thank you everybody for your support. It's actually still extremely flattering and very valued.